Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Al. Patch 9.1 is adding a variety of different catch-up benefits like leveling. We're going to be able to level with our characters a lot faster in 9.1.5 with the improvements of some of the bonus objectives, extra quests for you to do on a daily rotation, as well as heirloom gear. But getting max level is just a start, because then the real endgame begins, where you're going to need gear in order to be able to tackle dungeons, PvP, and raids. In this video, we'll be going over the cumulative changes Blizzard has added to help our characters catch up with gear, as well as feedback and suggestions on what more they could do to improve that experience further. Also, most of you guys watching these 9.1.5 updates aren't subscribed to the channel. You might as well hit subscribe since you watch these videos anyway. Hit the bell as well in order to catch up on all the 9.1.5 and future WoW updates. So let's take a character that's a fresh level 60, you just joined your covenant, you've gotten a bit of renown, and now it's time to help your character gear. There are other methods of gearing like time walking, as well as finishing the campaign, and some stuff you can do with renown for your covenants, but primarily today we'll focus on the endgame stuff and ways our mains can catch up with our alts, primarily some of the stuff Blizzard added that's new for 9.1.5. If you have any Stygia left over on your main character, then Korthia will be a perfect place to start, as in Korthia you will have a vendor that will now sell you Korthia catch-up gear. Previously, the gear tokens from Korthia gave you random pieces of loot, but now they're more specific with different Stygia costs, and it's a way easier method for you to be able to fill out the different pieces for your alts. To upgrade the gear gotten from Korthia, you will need research, which is a currency you get by turning in relics to Fate Scribe in Korthia. In patch 9.1.5, Blizzard increased the amount of research you get for every single relic, extra reputation gains with Korthia, and overall more research in order to be able to upgrade this Korthian gear. Essentially, you can hop into Korthia, kill a bunch of rares, loot a couple treasures, maybe do a couple of the daily quests that give you research, because those will give you even more research than before. And hopefully you'll be able to spend less time inside of Korthia to get bigger value for it, so the time spent grinding in Korthia should hopefully result in big gains for your alt characters. All that extra research in Korthia is also going to feed into being able to buy conduits as well as sockets for our characters, so also some more endgame progression. This is a good change because this allows our alt characters to fill out different pieces, and when fully upgraded, the Korthia gear will at least be a decent item level to dive into some of the endgame content. Another way of gearing would be through Valor points. If your characters, like main characters, have any Mythic Plus experience, you'll be able to use that Mythic Plus rating, as well as extra Valor points that you don't use, to outfit your alt characters. These Valor boxes contain random dungeon loot, and it is completely randomized. It can be weapons, trinkets, boots, pants. These items start out at item level 210 and can be upgraded with Valor further. The boxes cost about 500 Valor, which does seem like a pretty big number, but if you aren't using Valor at all in your main character, like a fully geared out character, at least that Valor can be used in a useful way for your alt characters. This Valor box gear, however, is random, so there are opportunities for you to get duplicates, at least on PTR. For a freshly level 60 character with 0 gear, anything is going to be an upgrade, and it's 210 item level to start with, which isn't bad. And it can reward you some of your best in slot trinkets. Imagine getting a vial on a fresh new demon hunter. I mean, that trinket by itself is a pretty big DPS gain. So if you have some side Valor and you're not going to use it for anything at all, and you do need to gear out your characters, it might be a pretty good Valor dump if you have nothing else to use it on. But if you were to reimagine a different version of these boxes, what if instead of getting random pieces, what if you got specific ones? I think that would be one easy way to improve this. Imagine getting best in slot weapons or items that you can upgrade with Valor over time. These items, while upgradable with Valor, will hit a cap unless that character reaches a certain M+ score, which if Blizzard were to eliminate it, it would allow us to endlessly farm Valor to upgrade these pieces to a higher level. But another way to fix this is to allow this gear to start at a higher item level, even if they want to keep it RNG. If you started at a higher level than a 210 piece, that would only help to catch up our characters quicker, so you won't have to really grind Valor for nearly as much on those alt characters. Because in my opinion, that 500 Valor price tag is maybe a little too high. If they were to reduce it or add extra incentives for this box, then I think it could only be improved further. However, if you plan on your alt characters to do some PvP, you can buy catch-up gear from a main for your alt characters with an arena box. Basically, think of the Mythic Plus box that you spend Valor on, but this is a PvP box and you spend Conquest on. Except with Conquest boxes, these are really inexpensive. They are so cheap. If you get lucky with these boxes, you could be earning for your fresh new warrior a two-handed weapon, normally a price of 1,800 conquest, bought for a little over 300. Because of this low price, I think these are a steal, especially if you have a main character that doesn't need any more conquest and is sitting head to toe in conquest gear. Especially with how useful PvP gear is in PvP, with how it scales up in content and comes with versatility to make our characters a little bit more resilient. And if you do want to gear your characters through PvP outside of just these conquest boxes, the honor gear has been upgraded as well. If you end up playing with basic honor gear, this gear scales up in PvP. As in, the item level within dungeons and raids is going to be lower, but once you jump to PvP like arenas and battlegrounds, that item level goes up. The lowest rank of this gear, which is rank 1, is going to now scale up to a higher level in 9.1.5, and as you upgrade this gear to higher ranks, the maximum item level, the scaled item level at the highest rank, is also going to be higher in this patch. So when you're upgrading your PvP honor gear to the highest possible rank, is then going to become 239 item level within PvP scaled. So it should hopefully make it a bit more competitive when you're doing your battlegrounds or diving into arenas. Arena gear also has more ranks in between, so as you're pushing towards your 1200, 1400, 1600, 1800, there's going to be little brackets in between where you get pretty decent gear upgrades. With more brackets, whatever milestone you reach on that alt character, whether it's like high 2100 or lower 1600, is still going to reward you with item level increases. But either way, that's a lot of ranks, so it's a good thing that they even reduced the amount of honor it takes to upgrade base PvP gear. Honestly, I don't really hate these conquest boxes, mostly because their prices are real low. Could they potentially change it so it's not completely RNG? Definitely. Could they maybe increase the prices because they're less RNG? For sure, but at least they're pretty dirt cheap. On my main character, I have the best PvP gear conquest points could buy, and I have no reason to spend them on anything. Being able to outfit a fresh new character with a bunch of these, since they're so cheap, makes me feel less bad about buying them compared to the Valor boxes, which are a bit more expensive. Plus, the PvP gear does scale up in PvP, and it comes with the most important PvP stat for survivability, so getting the head on that gear as soon as possible is definitely worth it. Now, as I said earlier, there are different methods of gearing. We have the Mythic Plus dungeons that are going to be available for time walking. There's going to be all the time walking events, and eventually Blizzard is going to bring up the gear. Of course, we have in just a few weeks extra renown, so World Quest will provide better item level gear for any alts looking to catch up. But in this video, I primarily want to touch on some of the ways our mains will be able to use different systems added in 9.1.5 in order to catch up for our alts, in order to help them out and give them a little bit of a leg up. I certainly hope that Blizzard does understand the whole point of this catch-up gear, is to find a way for our characters, our ult particularly, to skip a lot of this initial gear grinding process and be able to more easily jump into the content that we want to play at the end game, be it Mythic Plus dungeons, be it PvP like arenas and battlegrounds, or maybe even diving into the raids. As long as they keep that goal in mind when it comes to designing some of these catch-up systems for our alt characters, then we'll be on the right track in order to be able to play our alt characters a lot more easier in 9.1.5. As always, thank you guys so much for checking out this video. Let me know your thoughts about all the different 9.1.5 gear catch-up systems that are coming in 9.1.5 and how you think Blizzard could improve this even further. Feel free to join our Discord community down in the description below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see all of you in the next one.